So welcome to a special episode today as we are at Pontoon Brewing with the ladies of Shift Atlanta. And we are, as mentioned, at Pontoon Brewing in Sandy Springs, Georgia. So check them out if you find yourself in the area. But we have a very interesting group here today. Shift Atlanta, Holly, you said, had formed in...
June of 2020.
Okay.
And it was done so to provide extra resources for car enthusiasts to make it easier and more fun to be a car enthusiast.
Awesome. And so these are the women of Shift Atlanta, and if you would like to introduce them with maybe a 5-second blurb about everybody.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Well, let's start with Jessica. This is Jess. Sorry, dude. And Jess is our modder.
Awesome.
She's got all kinds of fabulous DSMs and BMWs in her repertoire and resume. So we're happy to learn from her experience. This is Raven. Raven has spent some time working in the automotive industry and loves classic cars and show cars and brings some very interesting perspective to our group by literally always making everything fun. This is Megan. Megan is learning how to wrench on her car herself.
Awesome.
She has always been a car enthusiast, loves new cars and going to auto shows and all of those fun things, but never really found an opportunity or a group to learn with. And this is Taylor. Taylor is our builder and is building exosets and racing Miatas and just generally out there being the baddest ass imaginable.
And Taylor has her own YouTube channel, so go ahead and plug yourself.
Yes, yeah, I'm Summer Del Sol. I work on a lot of kind of older Japanese cars, Del Sol, of course, and Miatas specifically, but also exosets. I used to work for Automotive here in Atlanta, so I'm familiar with them, and it's been a fun project. So thank you. Right.
Awesome. So make sure you check out her channel as well. And so what we're going to talk about today basically is the female perspective of the automotive car scene. And Holly is going to kind of moderate the conversation.
Sure.
And we're just going to have a free-flowing conversation. So we were talking prior to filming, and you basically had stated that this is a different type of group, that we're basically having difficulty finding more or less an outlet or the resources for what you all are about. So go ahead and talk about Shift Atlanta, talk about the Shift Women, and we'll just see where it goes.
Okay. Well, with Shift Atlanta, one of the things that we noticed is that there seems to be an expectation of what a car enthusiast is. There's a required set of knowledge. There's a specific set of information that if you don't have, you're not accepted in the group. And although we want to enable people who have that specific set of knowledge, whether you're a racer, you're experienced, you've been modding cars all your life, we wanted to provide an atmosphere for those people to teach other people, as well as making it easier by, offering track days or giving you all the information you need to get out there and do stuff with your car. But one of the things that came up pretty early on was that women learn completely differently than men do. Women have a very specific set of an expectation of how information is presented to them. They want to learn by being taught. Men do not like being taught. Men like to learn. I know it's shocking.
We also don't like directions.
Right.
Or instructions.
Right. Women do, though. It's very important to women to be taught, but not in a condescending way. We don't need to be mansplained to. I hate to say that. I'm sorry. But,
It happens.
It happens a lot. So what I wanted to create with Shift Women is an atmosphere where women could teach other women. Taylor is a great builder. And was there for Megan when Megan was ready to build, put her brakes on.
I did.
they were there for each other, enabling each other. When Raven had a car to sell, she knew what resources she could go to help make sure she got the right deal, make sure she wasn't getting ripped off, but it's very important for these women to feel safe, frankly, to be able to come out and say, I don't know this. And I can't ask a guy because they're just going to make me feel dumb for not knowing this. So it was crucial that ShiftWomen existed, just to provide that space for discourse.
Okay. And so what is your goal moving forward? What are some of the things you would like to see happen with this group?
Well, we're going to offer some very specific initiatives. I want to teach women how to drive manual transmissions.
Awesome.
I want to teach women how to navigate the world of shops, whether you're wanting to mod, whether you're wanting to just provide regular maintenance. If you want to start getting into racing, we're going to do intros into club level racing.
That's pretty cool.
We got female driving instructors amongst us, and semi-pro race car drivers that we're leaning on to kind of help bring this instruction to life. But it's not just women teaching women. It's just a fundamental level of understanding and camaraderie between us that helps each other learn in the way that we learn best.
Okay. That's awesome. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Yeah, sorry.
Go for it.
Well, I was gonna say, it's just like it's so cool, and y'all have been very kind. But I'm honestly learning as I go. Like, a lot of this stuff is so much. Like, my dad and I are close, but he wasn't necessarily in automotive, and if you don't have that kind of upbringing, it can be really daunting. Like, when I was first learning about this, I'm very fortunate, and I've had a great group of people in the automotive community who let me just kind of throw myself in and learn trial by fire. But it's daunting for sure. But it's really cool to have a group of women where it's like, all right, I can kind of pass on what I've learned and just say, listen, I'm still learning as I go. I've learned as I've built this thing, and it's fun, and here's how I'm kind of putting this information out there. And now that we've got a group of people who are interested, it's neat that it's like, all right, each of us brings a different thing. I'm probably not as familiar with, the classic cars that you might be, Raven, and it's like, I would love to learn more about that. And now that, I've had a chance to meet you, it's like, that's great. This is super cool. We're just a collection of information in a way that, we can really bond and learn more and learn together. So I've really enjoyed that.
Awesome.
So it's a strong support system.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a strong support system. Okay, that's pretty cool. And what has your experience been being the rookie of the group in a sense?
Just kind of riffing off that, Taylor drives Miatas and works on Miatas, and I drive a Mazda. My daily driver is a Mazda, and I enjoy cars, and I love the BMWs, the Porsches, the Audis, but I was but I really also like my Mazda, so I was really worried that all of the car enthusiasts are going to be more towards those German cars.
Can I interject something right there?
Yeah.
My brother has a Mazda 2 that we call the Jelly Bean.
It's a great one.
That has actually been set up for autocross with an automatic, and it's actually...
They're great.
It's the talk of social media every time he runs that car. So nobody's hating on your Mazda.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And I know Miatas are known for autocross too, but it was just so cool that I joined, Holly had me join the group and stuff, and I saw Taylor and she was working on Mazdas, and I was like, this is so cool, and she introduced me to Rock Auto, so I knew how to change out my brakes and rotor, my brakes and rotor. So it was just really cool to have that source of camaraderie and someone to lean on, to be even though she's learning, she taught me something too. So it was just really cool.
It's a good trickle down, and you don't live far from me either, which is really cool. So we can work on stuff together and collaborate.
It is that safe environment. Because women would never speak up in a male-dominated group and say, "Hey, I want to learn how to do my own brakes."
Right.
It's just not going to be a thing that's going to happen.
Right.
Well, you can do it, and like I said, I've been lucky with my group, but sometimes you do get some backlash. So this is so basic, you should know this. And
Or
it's
hear some demeaning meme, or you're just gonna mess it up, or wait till you get a guy's help.
Or don't hurt yourself.
Right.
Chip a nail, and it's my nails never stay clean. But it's and I love that it's it's so funny. It's such a small thing, but like you share all these memes in the group that are so funny. But like I've been in so many car meme groups where it's just like this is just sexist, and it's like every once in a while you get like one funny one, and then it's like and the rest are sexist. That's like, but it's just like
like I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
like working in the car industry, like I sold cars, and I, of course, was always the youngest. And being a female and being a black female, it was horrible. Like the sexist things that they would say was always, you don't know because you're a woman. You can't sell me this car because you're a girl. And what do you know about cars because you're
A girl.
a girl, or
stigma.
because you're in your 20s, or whatever the case may be. But I would outsell all of the guys.
So you're basically going uphill, but
Yes.
you accomplished it much better than everybody else that's going downhill.
That's right.
That is
And
Raven in a nutshell. Right?
well, I mean, you have to be like hyper aware of everything because it's like you've got to learn it faster. You've got to learn it to a better degree and be able to just be it equal, even though you know, and that's not me saying that I'm better than anyone, but I imagine in that sales environment, like you've got to know every single thing about that car to just be considered equal,
And you've
whereas
got to
others
bring
might
your
have a
A++
chance.
game
Right.
every single day
Every
to
single
remain
day,
competitive.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like I started off selling cool cars. I started selling Kias.
But
Well, not that
Kias can be cool.
There are some awesome.
Pretty cool Kias out
Exactly.
I was looking at a
Cadenza
sticker,
is
I'm like, that's
like
pretty cool.
cadenzas are great, but
Just in case you want to sponsor us.
People take your money.
Jess,
there-
what's your experience been like, Jess?
Well, like her, I started out really young. So, like in high school, I was offered an opportunity to do a co-op position to work outside of school for 2 of my hours. And I actually started working at a car shop. And it was a foreign car shop. It was a German guy who owned it. And I worked there through high school. And then once I got out, I told him, I really would love to manage a shop and grow a little bit more here. He allowed me to manage it, but I came with the same response that you had. I literally had a guy come in one day and specifically asked to speak with a male, and he did not want to talk with me. And then my boss thought it was funny because we had just hired a guy from Georgia, and this was in Michigan, and we had just hired a guy from Georgia, and he didn't really know much about the kind of car that he was talking about. So he was like, oh, go get Greg. And I was like, okay. So I went and got Greg, and Greg was like, I don't know, ask Jessica. And he was like, okay. And then it seemed like he started to develop a little bit of respect within the 2 weeks that he was in and out working with the repairs and stuff. But it was so many times that I just got like, people would ask for simple repairs and they would be like, oh, are you sure that's what I need? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure that's what you need. And there was always, I was always double questioned.
Right. So it's
So
a fight against
dissed
stigma.
more or less from
Yeah,
From the
I
start.
was young. I was really young. I was managing a shop at 18. And so that probably correlated to me being a female and being young, but it was still, it set me back a while. But I had such an amazing group of friends. Like, if anyone knows DSMs, we know that they break a lot. I literally had a group of friends that anytime I would break down, they would literally sit in a parking lot with me and rip off boost tubes, rip off intercooler tubes, and help me put them back on. And like, I learned every single time
We used to
because
talk
they would
about
teach me.
crowdsourcing our own tow truck.
Right. It was like that. Like, I was either me call a tow truck or we start pulling pipes in the Kroger parking lot. Like, it was
Whatever
that
it
bad.
takes.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say, AAA is never going to make a profit on the membership.
So the goal is to continue to foster your support group and maybe add to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So for our viewers, a fourth of you are females, and if you find yourself in the Atlanta area and you are not aware of Shift Atlanta or the women of Shift Atlanta, perhaps you consider joining the group and becoming a part of their support group. So
We did actually just make Shift Women national.
Awesome.
because
so not
we
just
feel
ShiftAtlanta.
like there's not any reason that we shouldn't have the camaraderie
I agree.
nationwide.
Yes.
I agree.
We're
So-
already a minority. Might as well.
So fantastic. We're going to stay tuned and we're along for your ride to watch you grow.
Yes.
And hopefully we can check in with you all from time to time, and hopefully we don't all fit at this table much longer.
Well, we have 2 new members that's going to be joining.
We do have 2 new
Yes.
members that are going to be joining.
No, we actually are. We're growing pretty quickly. I think women are starting to find that this is a place that
Safe.
it is. It's a safe place that, we say the only requirement to consider yourself a car enthusiast is liking cars.
No matter what
You
type.
can grow from there. It doesn't matter if you're a builder, a renter, a classic aficionado, or a modder, or like me, I've done everything, literally everything, from body shops to dealerships to, I've done it all. But I just want a space that we can.
Be free.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Absolutely.
there are some pretty phenomenal things happening in the world of females in automotive. I was telling somebody earlier that F4 just brought on Ferrari, just brought on their first female into the
fold.
Ferrari driving program, and she is 16 years old.
That's awesome.
We've got one of our members is Ashton Harrison, who races in the Lamborghini Trofeo in IMSA. And I've been following her career from club racing Miatas to no, it wasn't a Miata.
But there are a lot of women who are in
There
that
are.
MX5 Cup.
Yeah.
There's also
Maybe it was.
Savannah Little, I think, is an
Yeah.
MX5 Cup racer now, and Erin Vogel's racing. I think she's with Flying Lizard. I don't know if she's here in Atlanta, but it's cool to see all
Yeah.
these women grow and
It's phenomenal.
Racing, and
and now, even GM has a female CEO. There's so
The world
many
is changing.
It is
wonderful
changing.
things
It's changing for the
happening.
better.
Women are
Yes.
starting to find their place in the industry. Where we may need our space to grow, but that's not indicative of the entire market. There's some phenomenal things happening, some great opportunities. So we're excited to be a part of the growth.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching. Again, I just want to mention that our channel is about diversity and inclusivity. And certainly we try to bring you the forefront of what is going on within the car scene. So I hope you liked what we talked about today. If you did, please remember to like that video. Please remember to comment. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, because if you don't, you're going to miss things like this. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.